Hello, everyone. Welcome back to us watching The Last of Us. This will be episodes 4 and 5. We missed a few, so it turns out, Lilith, that you couldn't make it for episode 3 due to some IRL shenanigans, so you got all caught up.
Yep. I watched
And
episode 3, actually, just today.
Just today?
Mhm.
And then basically, we missed episode 4 because, Arch, you had some sort of IRL stuff to do with your job, right? You couldn't be around?
I was occupado, yes. I had to get up super early in the morning, and I would have gotten about 2 hours of sleep.
And episode 5, it turns out, actually came out a couple of days ago, but because it was preempted because tonight is the Super Bowl. And in fact, my IRL friends are off watching the Super Bowl, and I'm a nerd recluse, and I don't care about sports ball, so I'm here watching The Last of Us with you guys.
Let's talk about the sports ball. So as far as I understand,
God.
there's a racist team against a group of birds.
Oh, is that how it is? Is it the Redskins or whatever? I don't know the teams.
One is called the Chiefs. I don't think they're Native Americans, though, so that's
Okay.
really racist.
Yeah, because, Arch, you're Norwegian. You don't really care about American hand egg. And Lilith, you never seem like a sporty type to me. But Kibbs,
Yeah.
you live in the American heartland. How are you not watching sports ball like your brothers?
Sports boring.
Well, there we go.
Unless you're
he
playing.
has
one.
he has a
you're playing.
personal trauma with the hand egg, so
Oh, really?
He can't watch it anymore without
What's the
bursting out in
story?
tears.
What's the
That
story?
kid fell on me in school. I broke my collarbone.
Is that true?
That
is
did,
true.
but that wasn't the reason why I don't watch sports. I don't like watching. Like I like to play.
You know, I'm kind of the same
That's a
way.
much better reason, though. Like, if, you see the sport ball and you just imagine the enormous tuchus coming
No,
towards you.
No, it was his knee, and
Oh.
it's not the it's not the ass.
It's worse.
Well, here, Kibbs, you know what? Next time we play sports, I'll fall on you just to round it out, okay?
Devil, I'll shoot you if you do that. If I can, move my arms, assuming that's what breaks.
So we're gonna watch episodes 4 and 5 today, and but first, Lilith, you wanted to give your take on episode 3, since a brief take because you weren't here last time.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty well handled. Like, they depicted a libertarian character, and who was like
Libertarian
a prepper
representation.
Yes, libertarian representation with "Don't tread on me" and everything, and which is to be expected if you play like the game. Well, if you're familiar with the Bill character who helps out Joel and Ellie, and anyways, who's just basically like a prepper and a handyman and can build all sorts of traps, and resulted in one of the more memorable scenes in the game where it's like Joel's just hung upside down by the leg and has to shoot zombies while Ellie gets him down.
Oh, that part was actually quite hard. I remember being very frustrated playing that because your controls are fucking inverted. Jesus.
You've got libertarians here. You've got gun-toting, zero immigration, fucking build a fence now. And it's like, that's woke. I'm like, is it?
I mean, it's about as trad as they get. If only Frank was like a woman, but like, it's like the perfect picturesque married couple living together, supporting each other,
Yeah.
and making sure enriching each other's lives, and having a homestead,
Yeah.
and farming and all that trad stuff. But they don't like it because Frank is a man. This makes him gay.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
crossing swords. Oh no.
And like the actual like radical left gay stereotype are the people who are like pissing all over each other on the pride float with children watching, and it's like that's not what these guys are about, you know?
Yeah. The thing is, if we were to go back, change the fact that it's not The Last of Us, take the same story arc and literally change one of the characters into a girl, I guarantee you those other people are beast. Like, that's all that.
No one would have any problem with it. And this is like, okay, so the director guy was like, oh, I put the gay in there as like a trick. I fed it to you in the brownie. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I've never been in opposition to gay people, and you've just presented me with a perfectly fine conservative romance. Like,
Yep.
You didn't trick me into anything. You tricked yourself, bro.
They didn't really change anything. It's like Bill is gay in the game. Like the only difference was
They changed the ending, yeah.
This one they had a happy ending where they didn't get separated.
I mean,
So it's like
literally the only point of quote
they didn't
unquote woke
change anything.
propaganda
They
I've
were
seen is that it's a hyper idealized ending, and it is like all of their machinery's working. They still have fuel. They still have fancy dinners. They still have fucking wine.
Like I was really surprised when they casted Nick Offerman as the libertarian survivalist Bill. By the way, it was like that's like the perfect freaking casting because he was Ron Swanson, and which is like the most memeable libertarian character in television.
I watched it again with Naomi, right? Because she wanted to see the episode too. And it was a good episode, so I didn't mind watching it again. And I noticed something subtle about it that I didn't notice the first time through. When you see Bill, like, you know, before he meets up with Frank, you know, there's the army's going around clearing out all the houses, and he's in his bunker, and he's like, New World Order fucks WEF, motherfucker, you're not going to get me out of here. He seemed like your average, you know, off-the-grid Republican voter at the start of his story. He's you know, he's hiding, he's very handy, he's doing things for himself, he doesn't care about he doesn't care so much about the rest of society, you know, he's keeping to himself, he's building up his compound. He's happy that other people are gone. And however, he also seems like, after watching it the second time, he's probably closeted gay, you know? And then when Frank comes along and he realizes that Frank is also gay, that moment when they're both in bed, they're both lying in bed, and Frank asks him, have you ever had sex with another man before? And he nervously says, no, only with a girl once when I was younger. It seemed to me that Bill was like probably closeted, probably a little bit homophobic, but now that society's fallen apart, he can basically do whatever he wants without being judged by whoever was around him before. And so he's taking this chance with Frank. There basically can't be a more pro-gay story than that, of a guy coming out of the closet after years of repression and then finding a romance.
Apparently, Ben Shapiro got super duper pissed off about Bill and Frank.
Oh yes, that's one thing we should talk about real quick. So Arch, last episode, you basically said that this was a good romance, and I think you repeated it today. It was a good romance. It was a good representation of a positive representation of a conservative gay romance. And in fact, Arch, I think you milked this topic on your channel for all it was worth. You did like 3 videos on how the right should be claiming Bill and Frank. Is that correct? Milked. You squeezed.
I feel like that's not really it. No, this turned into a controversy is not really the right word, because there were people who disagreed with my take on this, and I think it is because we are too used to being defensive. We have to be against things because we have to counter the woke. But again, the thing is, if you did this romance and you made Frank into a big-breasted blonde woman, nobody would have any problems with this at all. And, you know, it wouldn't be an issue. If anything, the only complaint would be the same that I have, that it was overly idealized and that they had no problems whatsoever, really. There was like one raid that was easily repelled by the electrified fucking fence. I do think the right should be claiming these characters because they are clearly hashtag our side, so to say. These are libertarians. They are not woke. They don't seem... There was... How do I put it? Like, at no point did they bring in politics into their relationship. They didn't sit around the table going like, oh, I was oppressed under patriarchy or anything like that. It was just 2 people who fell in love. And I don't see anything wrong with that. So you sent me a little Twitter post from some bread tuber who was like, oh god, I can't wait for the conservatives to see this. They'll be seething and molding. Yeah. This is exactly why we should be claiming these 2 characters, because nothing would piss the wokies off more than having because they've owned the identity of gay now for 20 years, and they've used it as a political tool. Taking it away from them has got to be the funniest thing we could possibly do.
So what you're talking about, Arch, is that Xander Hall made this post. Me watching Nick Offerman get a blowjob from another man in The Last of Us and imagining the reaction of the chud YouTubers who have to watch this scene to review the episode. Now, firstly, like, this is Xander Hall, dude. You got to stop thinking. You got to unplug from the culture war, okay? Because you probably shouldn't be thinking about, like, You're gonna sit down with your girlfriend or with your friends or whoever, with your Discord, whoever. You're gonna sit down and watch a wholesome hour of TV, have a good time, and what you're thinking of is, man, I bet the people that I hate on the internet are mad right now. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, Xanderhall, what the fuck? You gotta like turn off the internet and put down the bong or something. Like, Christ.
See, I don't know what a Xanderhall is, so I don't know the context here, but
Yeah, nobody
okay.
does.
Listen, Arch.
I presume he's a communist, judging by.
Vosh with minus 20 IQ points and too much weed. That's Xanderhall. So in reply to Xanderhall, there was one guy named Comrade Gigachad, him, who says, surprisingly, they don't hate it, at least this one doesn't, and then links your video, Arch.
Yes.
It links your video.
And then
says,
somebody else responded too, like, it makes me worried. What are they getting out of it? I'm like, it's just it's two conservatives having a romance. That's all I'm getting out of it.
See, I'm going to do a video on this, right? Because at some point I'll do a video. I have to flesh this out a little bit more. But basically, the right knows what the left looks like from the point of view of being inside the left. But the left has no clue what the right looks like from the point of view of being inside the right. And there's a clear like imbalance there between the knowledge of each other. And that's why I think we're seeing stuff like this of, why does a right winger like Arch Warhammer like a gay romance? And it's like, maybe you need to reevaluate how you view the fucking world, dude. But
well, actually, that's an interesting idea you have there, because I hadn't thought about that. I figured that they would be able to, how do I put this? Like, all the shit that people say about me, I figured they were just lying because it seemed like a good attack angle. But they might also just not understand, because I have never at any point said I've been anti-gay. The very least, I can't remember.
You know what it is?
I think I just assumed, like, oh, you're somebody who is on the right, and therefore you must hate the gays.
Well, it could be that. It could also be the fact that people on the left tend to take jokes like as not just a joke, but as a dog whistle for what you actually believe. So if you make jokes at the expense of gay people, that means that you actually secretly hate gay people. That's a very common thing the left does. So maybe that's what they're doing, because all of us here, including you, Lilith, even though you try to keep a damper on it because you don't want to get canceled. But I understand. I know what lies in your dark heart, actually. All of us here have made like jokes at the expense of gay people. But they're jokes, and we know that we know that they're jokes.
Jokes at the expense of gay people.
but here's the thing: we know that they're jokes, and we know that we're all actually cool with them. You know, when we say breed Kibbs, we don't mean to actually like denigrate Kibbs because he's a gay bottom. All right, we're just having fun.
Oh, now you're just making
But,
shit
like,
up.
there's an interesting thing too. You say at the expense of. Like, I don't think of it like that. Like, for me, the core fundament of all humor is absurdity.
Yes.
And surely homophobia is a fairly absurd concept, like being afraid of gays.
The issue is that Arch, while you were doing your Melkin, a lot of your comments were saying stuff like, "No, we actually shouldn't claim Bill and Frank," and like they were fighting back with you. Like, I know I've been getting into fights with my comment section, but this time you've been taking some hits over this.
Not really. Like, a grand total, I lost 6 subscribers, which...
Oh no!
Yeah, you know, I've lost a few
What
too.
do you do without
Like,
6?
Yeah, but I don't mean to turn.
Too. Like, I'm not the kind of guy who's like, oh, they didn't matter or anything like that. But the thing is, I felt like I had a very good, frank discussion with my community over it. We did a stream. I talked to them. We had a conversation back and forth. They got to tell me their arguments. I got to tell them theirs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it worked out fairly well, honestly.
No, fair enough. Like, I'm not saying that, like, oh no, you lost subscribers. I'm not saying that, but like, I looked at the comments on some of those videos, and they were like, "No, these are degenerates." Some people were saying shit like that. It's like, oh
Dev,
my god, Jesus.
You also got to remember, like, when it comes to the creative sphere and feedback, and when it comes to critique, always the most loudest voices are often those that are going to be the most vulgar sometimes.
Yes,
that goes for whether you're making a video game and you release it and be like, oh, I hate these mechanics, or or you're just making a video. Like, they're just going to rise to the top. The scum rises to the surface. There were a lot of comments I actually read that were actually pretty well mannered, and pretty well constructed. And they actually raised some excellent points, and we brought those up on stream, and we had a good chat about it.
Then we get to what you mentioned to start this whole section off, Lilith, which was Ben Shapiro's video called Brokeback Zombie Farm. And it's like, come on, dude. Ben, what the fuck? Now, Ben Shapiro, like, he's obviously, like, a partisan rightoid. So, like, this is expected to come out of him, right? But he did the whole culture war. I can't believe they're shoehorning the gays into this perfectly fine The Last of Us show. And it's like, Ben, what are you doing? Come on. I know, clicks, I get it. You know, your video had 500,000 views. You probably could have made some money off of it. I get it. You have a company to fund. This is just partisan hackery.
It is indeed difficult to argue they shoehorned in since it was in the game.
It was in the game, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They gave them a happier ending, and they spent far more time on it, and I'm still not sure that was worth it. We'll have to see how the rest of the show turns out, because this was an entire episode dedicated to a pair of side characters.
Yeah, so, because here's the thing. In the original game, Bill and Frank don't come back after the segment.
So you're not going to get any payoff, and they're also
Unless
dead
they change
in
it.
the show.
Unless they change it.
It's like, actually, we didn't die. I decided not to kill myself, and it's just the other guy dead in there.
They
I
come
actually
riding in
That
the
would be
last
pretty
scene.
cool if we get to see more Nick Offerman.
I mean, yeah, but they'd ruin the story bringing him back, though.
Yeah, that
They probably would, yeah.
I don't know if you all watched Ben Shapiro's video on this. I did watch it. He spends the whole time complaining from a purely culture warrior perspective. You know, it's like, oh, this is the LGBT ideology lobby pushing gays into your TV again, and it's like, listen, you gotta calm the fuck down with this, Ben. Like, no, things have swung too far in the other direction now, right? Like 5 or 6 years ago, we were complaining about them shoehorning in trans people or gay people where it didn't matter, you know, race swapping to black characters where it didn't matter, and it's like, this is kind of cringy. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Now though, the reaction to that has become so severe that anytime you see like a gay person in the media, these people are like flying off the handle, and it's become too much in the other direction now.
Yes, our side is in the ascendancy, and we need to recognize that rather than continuing on the defense.
It feels just like a money farm or a click farm. It's just like, this is another thing where I get to get riled up and make lots of angry clicks with. It's like, it's so cynical. Like, gays have been appearing in television since forever. It's like, now we're seeing more of it because now we're seeing there are more gays, and the FCC doesn't fine you thousands and thousands of dollars if you show homosexuals in a non-negative light on television. I think he also complained about that 2-second clip of lesbians kissing in Buzz Lightyear too, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. That was also stupid.
At the very least tweeted about it.
If he has to go to war with Steven Crowder, he needs all the money he can get, you know? So basically, like RightyTube is doing the same thing that LeftyTube went through, or like Lefty Twitch, you know? They're just eating each other at this point. They've like isolated off into their own little internets, and now they're infighting for clout. And it's funny to laugh at when it happens on the left, and it's funny to laugh at when it happens on the right. And I think that basically Ben Shapiro losing it over Bill and Frank is just a small component of that larger issue of it's just people scrabbling for relevance.
The inevitable spiral. It happened to Gamergate after people realized that once the video game journalist's horse had been beaten thoroughly to death, a lot of people realized, well, we might not actually agree on everything. And then a lot of egos in a very small room, etc., etc. And it's happening to the left on RedTube, etc. And it's happening again now. This is just the natural cycle of content creation, I think.
I know a lot is going to be cut out, but we've been talking for like nearly an hour and a half just shooting the shit. So maybe it's time we should actually watch the show.
We have 2 episodes to get through.
Listen, I miss you guys, all right? It's a good time.
You know, you could come in any time. We stream a lot, Barch and I.
Well, no, I know, but usually I'm busy. Like, I'm also working on things.
That's no excuse. You can always find time. As somebody who has time management problems myself, I know.
Here, I'll break up with my girlfriend for you. I'll free up some time that way. Jesus, Kibbs,
You have more.
you're so
free time.
demanding. Now,
Start
Arch,
dating Tibbs instead.
I'll start dating Kibbs. Okay, Arch. Now I
Well.
understand. Now I understand the dynamic here of what's going on, of why Kibbs needs to be bullied, because otherwise he just sucks up all your free time.
He does. He's a woman.
I have got queued up in the pipe. I think it's episode 4. Let me just double check. Yes, episode 4. Let's roll.
It's currently black.
I'm playing it right now.
Okay.
This is what I always expect whenever there's the HBO.
Na 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 na.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I like the guitar at least.
Yeah. You know what? Unlike the Rings of Power, this song actually makes the intro worth watching, I think. It's a nice song.
They actually incorporate it into the show too.
Mhm.
That's sort of what they're doing with like the new Mario movie, from the looks of it too. They're incorporating.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Yep.
Yep.
You're talking
Hello,
to me.
aircraft carrier. It's been long since last time.
Fuck. There were some comments who were saying, Arch, that you're too mean to this girl.
No such
I
thing.
might be, but she does not fit the character. She just
No, she doesn't.
I'm sure she's a lovely human being, but at least she knows basic gun safety.
I hope so. Before giving her a gun.
Oh,
No, she found
nobody
it,
gave
remember?
her a gun.
Oh, she found
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
She took.
I
She's trying to be
expect Jones
gangster.
just walk in.
Tilt the weapon. It'll increase accuracy.
Put the safety on, man. You don't want it just randomly going off because it hooks something in your bag.
Fun fact, the French rifles of the Second World War did not have safeties.
So they just would go off?
It was a bit unfortunate occasionally.
We have to do this every
Yeah, no.
breaks down over
If
time.
lichen is
Depends how
growing
much
on the
water.
cars, I guarantee you that fuel is not
12
usable.
hours on one tank.
That would be Jello. Years and years and years ago.
20 years. How long does gas last in a tank?
A year? Like
Okay.
it lasts a year in an underground
This is your
tank.
fault then.
To be fair, this is something that
Doesn't
every
matter
single
how much
survival
you push
setting
the
gets
envelope.
wrong.
It'll still be stationary. No pun intended. Volume 2 by Will Livingston. Volume 2. Look,
Wait.
you get it?
Is
Two,
it a?
like
This is a
2-0?
puns book. Okay, this is the best
the
show,
mermaid
the
right
best
on
character, the
that
best episode. I love
Now your
this
interest
already.
is piqued.
Yes.
Watch Joel kill himself.
An algebra. Like algebra. I stayed up all night
No,
wondering where the sun went. And then it dawned on me.
feel free to wait in the truck.
Okay, but just know, you can't escape Will Livingston. He'll be back. There's nothing you can do to stop him.
At least somebody cleared out the cars from being on the road. Very convenient of them.
Yeah, they conveniently just 45-degree parked them.
Yeah, they used to stick big ass plows on them and clear the roads for their tanks and such.
I actually did.
Oh my god, they explained it!
You will.
Got something else?
Oh wait, they're doing the. Yep.
It's light on the reading, but it has some interesting pictures.
No. Put that back. That's not for kids.
How do you
Ellie,
even walk around with that thing?
please get rid of it.
What was your horses?
That's
I wanna
actually
see what all
kinda
the fuss is
funny.
about.
We can't walk around with that thing.
Why are all these pages stuck together?
Who knows?
I'm just fucking with you.
I know what Coom is.
Bye-bye, dude!
Okay, so that was shot for shot identical from the game.
Yes.
Yeah. She finds the gay porn from Bill's stash.
Yep. God damn it, he's got gay porn stashed in his truck. What a degen. Arby's.
Oh, you know that one picture that people use to show like the downfall of America by having all these like McDonald's and Arby's and all these restaurants?
Yep.
This is it. Kind of looks like that. It's like that place, but the post-apocalypse. Wow. That one spot of grass was clearly driven over several times for this shot.
That and the fact that, you know, you can clearly tell it's been mowed.
Mm-hmm.
Raviolis. Not raviolis.
20-year-old raviolis, dude.
Hey, it's
Slow down.
canned.
This is slow. What am I even eating?
That is 20-year-old Chef Boyardee ravioli.
That guy is good.
I actually agree.
So can we start a fire? I'm freezing.
Now, why am I going to tell you no?
Because infected will see the smoke.
No, fungus isn't that smart. This is
I was
too
about to
remote
say,
for
yeah.
infected anyway.
People?
Remote? Do the
So what do
fungal
you do
zombies
about
just
us?
hang out
Well,
in
they'll
populated
burn you
areas
right
for
now.
some reason?
It's because of the all the connections with the
Hey.
fungus going underground. They stay in like urban centers. Literally just live outside the city and you'll be fine.
Okay, so they're literally leftoids.
Smells
Huh.
pretty good.
Wait, the pun book. The pun book. She better say some more.
Why did the Scarecrow get an award?
Because he was outstanding in his field.
You dick! Did you read this?
This is sweet. The Joel and Ellie father and daughter moment. Those were like my favorite parts in the game too. This actually makes me want to go out camping.
Have you been camping before?
Oh, what the fuck
have.
is that?
Man,
Yeah,
I hate
coffee.
camping.
Correct. I went camping once. It was awful.
Oh, it's percolator coffee.
How am I more outdoorsy than the two men?
I live in
Oh.
Norway. The outdoors here will kill you.
I mean, same with Canada, right? Like, yeah.
These are all woman excuses, I want to point out.
Hold on.
Well, I would love to put
was
you
a lot fresher
outside
than
my
Bill said,
backyard.
Doug.
Just
Yeah, it was
12 hours. Just 12.
Smells like
Kibbs, I
know
wanna point
Sub-Zero
out-
camp. I'm fine. You,
Kibbs, I like-
on the other hand, are
Camp?
dead. Yeah, I can sleep
Kibbs.
outside in Sub-Zero.
No, you can't.
on the map.
Yeah, I did scouts training on how to do it, you muppet.
76
Okay.
west and then
I'll just put you outside. No
70
gear.
west
Go sleep in the
for,
fucking
like,
snowdrifts.
ever.
And that was not the
Where in
stipulation.
Wyoming did you say your brother was?
Last contact came through.
Kibbs, I just
radio
want to point
tower
out
close to Cody.
that Lilith said that there's only 2 guys here.
Cody.
You son of a bitch, Lil.
And then Tommy meets Marlene. She talks me into joining the Fireflies. Same mistake you made. when
I'm
you
got
was 18.
groomed.
He got groomed.
You got up pretty early if you want to grab more sleep.
I'm not even tired.
Also from the game.
Oh no, we're entering Chicago.
Yeah, like, okay. Even in America, there's like highways going around all the major cities, right? You don't have to go to the city.
You could just go around it, actually. With back road. Actually, why the hell would you go through a city? Other than to cut down time, I'd rather go around it.
Yep.
Because, Kip, this is where the fucking story happens. In this television show.
Mm-hmm.
That needs conflict. If this was just driving to fucking wherever, it'd be pretty boring.
What are you talking about? That's a very cozy show.
25 hours of driving and Kyle was scratching at the walls. Please give me the faggots back.
Well, here's hold
Long
on.
road
Anything.
trips I am actually happy for. I like long road trips. Long
Okay.
road trips are fun.
So this looks like another level from the game because it has like the soda truck in front of the tunnel. So they're doing the same thing again. But
Isn't this so?
this isn't. Joel didn't lose the truck this way.
Right, they were like ambushed by some group, and that's
Yeah.
how they lost Chuck, right?
So this is. I think this is actually the setup for a level in Salt Lake City near the end of the game. That's what it looks like. Go around it, man. Come on.
Screw it.
They addressed Kyle's point and defeated it. The answer was
jog right around
he
this
couldn't
tunnel?
be arsed.
Take the next ramp. And we're back on the road minute tops.
Oh, they are turning. God damn it. Why? Okay.
It's
I'm
a smart
very
thing to do,
sorry.
though. It's a smart thing to do.
I guess
Hey.
I'm.
Yeah, but
right.
now you're gonna see that it's a bad thing to do because there's gonna be like evil shit out there and they're gonna have to turn around because that way the plot can happen.
You're a
What
plot.
fuck is the highway?
I can't tell from this. I'm all turned around.
Well, don't look at the state map. Look at the
I don't
inset.
know where we are in that either. either. This is my second day in a fucking car, man. I mean, I can take
I mean, that's fair.
Don't you have a compass?
How old is that vehicle? Is it mine?
Well, no, I mean as an actual literal compass. You know,
Yep.
Kyle, come here.
Yeah, no. Have you
Compasses
been
are
in a
those
car
things in your
before?
smart car, right?
Actually, my old Jeep had one.
Oh no, this is the scene.
Yeah, that's a trap.
Seatbelt on.
Okay.
Are we gonna help?
Never accept people in the apocalypse. Yep.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
See, they should have gone through the city.
They're going to the city, Muppet.
Fire as bulletproof.
Okay, so yeah, this is how it
Okay.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're not hurt, nothing.
I don't think so.
They missed the best one-liner though. There was in the game. There was a moment where Ellie asks, "Aren't you gonna help him?" And he says, "He's not even injured." He just runs him over.
Yep.
He's like, "He's injured now, motherfucker." Oh, Arch, just so you know, there was like 50 guys to kill here in the game.
Yeah, he murdered like a fuck ton.
Well, there came, number 50.
I have a feeling.
Wow, they've got really good teeth considering the apocalypse has been going on for a few, years.
Oh, there should be plenty of crest lying around. And toothbrushes. Probably lots of toothbrushes.
Don't aim that low. You just shot Joel.
Joel's dead.
Yep. That was unfortunate. Oh well. To be fair,
It's okay.
yeah,
It's
she
over.
couldn't
We're
know
not
that
fighting
bullets
anymore.
go through things.
I'm gonna go home. I'll tell everyone you're good. I don't know what to do. My legs don't work. My mom isn't far. If you can get me to her,
You gotta kill him, man.
we can trade with you guys. We can be friends. I didn't know. I'm Brian. What's your name?
I do appreciate this scene actually. And this is rather humanizing. I like it.
Yeah. Well, also, it shows that Ellie's gotta, like, harden up.
Remember, nobody's innocent after you've shot them.
Wait.
My dude, you tried to rob us.
You can have it. No, we can just stop. Mom!
Damn.
Ellie, I gotta get in there. I can't fit through.
That was some harsh shit, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
There's some stuff against the door.
Can you move it?
See, this is also kind of why I understand why people were a bit annoyed by the whole gay romance thing, because it was overly idealized, and it was a happy ending in a universe that doesn't have a whole lot of fucking happy endings.
The Bergquists. No. Mark Anthony Halpin. Carrie Schreiber. Haven't seen them. The Chans. Henry Burrell. Okay. You know where Henry is. Lawyer. Medical attention. Family visit.
I've completely fallen off the plot now. Who are these people?
I'd have to stop now, you know. Now that you're
The
in
Kansas
cell.
City Fedra was
But before,
overrun
people
by
dying
bandits.
was okay. When you were safe and protected and ratting on your
They've
neighbors
taken
to
over.
Fedra.
They put a gun to my
So,
head.
okay.
Jesus.
This is Henry's work. Understand? And he won't stop
until we
Now, I
stop
gotta
him.
point out, no matter how
Find
much of a
who
douchebag
did
that guy
this.
might have been,
Find
if he's your
every
only trained
collaborator
medical professional, that was a
and kill
very,
them
very,
all.
very bad idea.
Yeah, extremely.
Yeah.
Basically, you
Exceptionally bad idea.
Yep. So she said, find every collaborator and kill them all. So I don't know if they'll get to it, but in the game, the people had overthrown Fedra, like Firefly style, and then immediately devolved into a gang. Because of course they would, after you overthrow the government. There's no utopia here. And then they ended up being worse than Fedra. And yeah, you all know how it
Were
goes.
they cannibals also, or was that a different group?
They might have been the cannibals. I don't know. Or I don't know if the cannibals were later.
These
There
guys
was
were
a-
just like a hellhole.
Maybe.
There was a cannibal group later, though, I think. Listen, human flesh with mushrooms built in, pretty convenient.
You eat mushrooms? Ooh.
You don't put mushrooms in your pizza?
Oh.
Depends on what kind of pizza you're making.
You ever had a good Canadian
Yeah,
pizza?
so-
Bacon and mushrooms?
As soon as we don't hear
You
a
mean
truck,
ham?
we move
No, bacon.
fast as we can.
Oh. Canadian bacon. I got you.
I think neither of you should exist.
You need to widen your palate, or we'll widen you. He's like,
It's it's not all about post D&D pastries, Arch.
Are you okay?
His pastry is a
Pre.
sandwich with a piece of meat and cheese in it.
First time that you hurt someone like that.
See, this is why it's much better to not do this in the video game format too, because here they just kill like 3 people who attacked them, and it's entirely justifiable for him to still, feel bad about killing people. It's a hard thing.
Really aren't.
But if
it
he
was my
just
fault.
murdered his way through 100
shouldn't have
fucking
to.
dudes, this would feel somewhat hollow.
Yep.
In the game, I think characters also somewhat acknowledge that Joe's like a mass murdering, like a
It wasn't my first time.
absolute beast of a man in the background too.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, they had to tone everything down a bit. And probably ends up a little bit better than the epic story-wise.
Here, have your little girl
you're good.
pistol back.
Finger off the
Did you
trigger.
take out the magazine? No?
Who taught you that?
Fedra school.
Figures. Your thumb. Over your thumb. Left hand. Squeezes down on the right. Got it? There you go.
Ah, the feds didn't know how to handle small arms. They truly were the ATF.
Safety on. Trigger discipline.
Uh-uh. You put it in your pack. You shoot your damn ass off.
Yeah, much better you shoot your damn ass off through your backpack. Where there's more clutter.
That means she's gonna shoot herself accidentally. I bet they're gonna add that, or like someone's gonna steal it out of her pocket. That's gonna come back to bite her.
Maybe, yeah.
The mushrooms.
Fuck.
When do we tell the others?
Not yet. Let's just handle what we have to handle. We can deal with this after.
Kathleen.
After.
You have mushroom
Seal off
veins
the building for now.
burrowing into your compound.
Okay?
Like, you gotta handle that shit now.
The personal vendetta thing is gonna be the thing that dooms them.
Here's the problem. Clearly, you guys know more about what the fuck's happening here than I do, because I am completely confused. I don't know who this woman is. I don't know why the clearly more senior and experienced man is taking directions from her. I don't understand what the fuck's going on.
Okay, I'm in.
Like, hell, I wouldn't even understand that they'd overrun Fedra unless you'd told me. I feel like maybe explaining this would have been a better use of the previous
Where did you
episode,
get
at least
huh?
parts of it.
Maybe.
Now Wyoming.
Oh,
And I'm lost.
walked into that one.
I can't really remember this story that well. In fact, I don't remember anything up until this point. But like the Fedra stuff, like you can tell with visual storytelling because you had like Fedra building walls or blood smeared on the walls.
Come on in.
They wouldn't charge anymore.
On our way out.
Did you kill innocent people?
Innocent is a complicated word in the post-apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Joe!
What?
What are you doing?
I don't want someone sneaking up on us while we're sleeping.
Oh, I get it. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
I mean,
You
they
sure
can
you're
see
gonna
you
do
from the
Of
door.
course I'll hear
and
it.
they
That's the
could just
damn point.
Okay.
shoot you, but
I put the
Yep.
glass outside the door, to be honest with you. Okay.
like, it's a good thought, don't get me wrong, it's just poorly executed. Side sleeping is the only
Hey.
way to sleep, by the way.
Yeah.
When we were talking about hurting people, what did you mean it wasn't your first time?
I mean, she tried to gut you with a pocket knife first time you met her,
I don't
so...
want to talk about it.
She goes in a DOC.
All right.
Okay.
Enter credit card to proceed.
Basically.
So it gets easier when you get older?
No, not really.
Yeah, when you hit a certain age, naturally,
Still.
car turns out to be kind of fun.
Did you know diarrhea is hereditary?
What?
Yeah. It runs in your genes.
That's great.
He thought it was funny too.
That is so goddamn stupid.
You laughed,
I didn't laugh.
You did.
Jesus, I'm losing it.
You're losing it big time.
The character bonding. Not too bad.
The only person who didn't laugh was Arch. Arch, you hate puns, don't you?
He's not a human.
I'm sorry, my intelligence is far too fucking high for this.
Sorry, Arch, you're more of a lizard. You remind me of that Facebook guy. He's like, oh.
That Facebook guy.
I don't know, he's
This
a lizard.
pun is not funny according to the algorithms.
Joel.
Crunch.
Joel!
I told you they had guns.
Well, that's Henry, right?
I think that's Henry and Sam, yeah. Well, there we go. End of the first episode. Well, no, the fourth episode. The first one tonight. There we go. So, yes, I can tell right from the beginning that one of the big problems with this episode is they didn't adequately introduce the antagonists of the next section. They just assumed that if you played the game, you'd know who they are.
Yep. Which does mean that Arch's point about the previous episode is now validated.
Mhm.
Because it would be fine to do that episode as like a bonus, like fluff thing, as long as everything's like adequately explained. But here, the antagonist and the relationship is going to be explained in the next episode. But the entire time you're just thinking, what? Because Arch is like, what the fuck is going on here?
Because clearly there's a lot of story, or well, who this woman is, why she shot their only motherfucking doctor, why they're running a little Nazi dystopia now. There's a lot that has happened here, and that would probably have been a better use of the previous episode.
Yeah. So
Spend more time building this up than that.
to
I
fill you to
Don't
fill you
know
in.
if I necessarily agree, because like
Oh.
I think the show could be going from like Joel and Ellie's perspective, because to them these are just a bunch of assholes with guns that showed up, and they may as well just been bandits and raiders, which in some ways
Yes.
they are.
So
So-
that's true. That's actually a good point. So I'll tell you how it goes down in the game, Arch. Okay, I don't think it was Kansas City. I think it was actually Pittsburgh, but it doesn't matter which city it was. They have to go into a city. For some reason, the roads are blocked off. They have to drive through the city. The exact same ambush happens, where there's an injured guy, but this time Joel just runs him over. He's not even injured. He runs him over. They lose Bill's truck. It crashes into a laundromat, which is what it did in the show. And they have to work through the city on foot. However, the path, because it's a linear video game, the path takes them into the former Fedra camp. The gameplay is you're just killing a shit ton of
people.
of people.
Bandits,
You're just killing a shit ton of basically of bandits. And you can actually like listen to them talk, and if you want to get the story, you can listen to them talk about how they overthrew Fedra and how they've been like just ambushing people who come through. Sometimes they enslave people who come through. A lot of background. So you also find data logs in the level because it's a video game, so you can pick these up or you can ignore them. The story basically was there was a group in this Fedra quarantine zone that was like the Fireflies but wasn't associated with the Fireflies. They were these revolutionaries who wanted to overthrow the government. They managed to do it. They disbanded Fedra. They purged all the people who were loyal to Fedra. There was definitely some, kind of communist rhetoric about what they were doing, but of course they immediately descended into tyranny. And what they do is they go out, they find people who are traveling around, they kill them, they take their stuff. If they have kids, they take the kids, they brainwash the kids, they turn them into workers for their new civilization. And they're very utopian, and they do not like people leaving. They even more than Fedra. It's every like all of Fedra, all of their equipment, worse morals, way more willingness to be ruthless. Just Fedra, but worse and less competent all the way through. But this is the thing. All of this stuff is like, it's all data log stuff. It's all background conversation stuff. In the game, you can just fight through it and you don't even have to care about it if you don't want to. But there is a story here. The problem is you can't do data logs in a TV show. So they had to somehow bring it into the show, and they didn't do they did like a 25% job of it, because you can see like there's Fedra stuff, but they're clearly not Fedra. So there's like some environmental storytelling happening here, but they needed to do more of it.
Yeah, because environmental only goes so far, because we can easily deduct from the Fedra building with blood smears, and there's these like bandits that are occupying now, that Fedra has lost control of this region.
Yep.
But it doesn't really explain like who these people are. Now, in the next episode, they're going to probably expand on the whole, like, Sam thing and the fact that they're leaving, the society, and because
Don't spoil it, Kibbs!
Yeah, but it's a game that's been out for a decade. It's not even like a... Like, it's like, who's Luke's dad? Like, nobody cares anymore.
No, you're spoiling Arch for the next episode.
Yeah, but here's the problem. This episode didn't give him any context for what the fuck was going on anyways.
That's the problem. If the next episode begins to explain the context, then that's fair. But... To address the point as well, that is being taken from the perspective of Bill and Joel, that would be fine if it weren't for the fact that the preceding episode was not at all taken from the perspective of Bill and Joel, making it a complete break from...
Oh, you mean Joel and Ellie?
The world Bill and Joel, I don't freaking care. People on the television screen.
Yes.
Because that's the thing, like, so long as the whole gay romance didn't detract from anything else, I thought it was perfectly fine, but... It depends on the next episode. Like, if they tell the story of what happened here through these two other characters that just appeared, I'll be more than happy. But if they never explain how the fuck this Fedra stronghold was overrun, I'll be annoyed.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, yes.
I thought it was fine to have a self-contained thing for episode 3.
And it has to be paid off, though, so something has to work out. Yeah, everything else has to work together to do that. Yeah, so from what I recall... Henry and, since we're spoiling it anyway, Henry and Sam in the game wanted to leave the communist utopia, and they were very mad about that. And they were sending like just guys in truckloads of guys after them. And Joel and Ellie just happened to be in the wrong place, wrong time.
Well, in this case, from the dialogue, it seems like Henry got the brother of random woman killed.
Maybe
it seemed like because they were interrogating the doctor, and he was like, "I didn't give them your brother." Like, yes, but Henry did, and you gave them Henry, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're implying that there.
So there seems to be more motivation.
Yep, we'll have to see.
It's a personal vendetta too.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So let's start up episode 5. I've got it queued up. Let's roll.
Yeah.
So while this is playing, I'm just looking this up. And Twitter's actually gone kind of quiet on this show. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, there's no big controversy surrounding it anymore, unless, we're not counting Ben Shapiro's, that was kind of nutsoid. But, like, the normies just seem to be watching and enjoying the show, but not really talking about it. I don't know how to take that.
Well, it's probably because the show it's entertaining, but beyond that, I wouldn't say it's, like, stellar. It's just alright.
Nothing particularly special, and it's not really pushing any particular point either, I guess.
I mean, think about it, that's pretty rare these days.
Oh, is this gonna be the backstory, isn't it, of how they liberated the zone from
Looks like
Fedra?
it.
It's a little bit of a waste.
Yeah. The People's Revolution. We all own the means of production.
Oh yeah, these definitely do look like the heroes of justice. That's for sure.
They're just killing the kulaks, Arch. They deserved it.
Yeah, this is the problem with the revolution. It's just gonna make you the monsters. Yeah, I saw you hang that person over a bonfire. I don't believe you.
You will not
Counter-revolutionary. Yeah, like that's
Jesus.
a great image of a fair trial right fucking there. Like, I'd hand myself in a heartbeat, no doubt.
Wait, was the kid deaf in the last, or mute in the game? I don't think he was.
I don't remember.
Did it feel good? Betraying your neighbors to Fedra?
The struggle session.
Well, I'm not Fedra. Lucky for you. No one here has to die. Yeah, we could put you on trial. You're all guilty, so that's how that'll go. And you'll do some time.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
That's
But
much
first,
better.
He had a place to hole up in the open city in case things went bad.
But things have gone great. Haven't you heard? Kansas City is free. Hole up where?
I do quite like this. This is a
didn't say it.
very subversive take on
I
communism.
swear, I've told you everything I know.
No, we are not really putting them on trial. When you're done, burn the bodies. It's faster.
Damn. Freedom!
The People's Republic. My God.
I've been saying, like, every great writer of history says one thing correct, even the people who are the worst, like Marx or whoever. I've been reading Moldbug. He has said one thing that I like. Only one thing. And that one thing is, sometimes freedom requires order. And it can't just be anarchy. You know, freedom from all possible institutions and just pure anarchy is no real freedom.
I agree with that. That's why I'm a libertarian, not an ANCAP.
Mm.
Like, we need some form of order to ensure freedom for people. Otherwise,
got
it's
a
just
gun.
like warlords and, well, roaming
This.
gang.
It's just fucking this.
Yeah, or it's just fucking this.
He's scared because you're scared.
No, I'm pretty sure he's scared because he's Anne Frank now. I'd be scared too.
Hello.
Well, he's deaf now.
Yep.
Look at me. I am the captain now. No, communists are still shooting people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back to painting. Okay. Oh, we should tell him not to whack on things.
Yeah.
You could always eat the paint.
Oh, God.
All the crayon tasting.
Should probably go in the night, though, shouldn't you?
I don't know. Communists are creatures of the dark, after all. They might see better.
Like, way skittered around the ceiling. The suction cups.
Kibbs, you're beeping. What's going on?
What do you mean beeping?
I heard a beep in the background of your.
Oh, don't mind that.
It's your microwave from making those hot pockets.
Food.
Get it right in his eyes. Make him blind too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if smearing paint over your face is actually that intelligent.
I mean, it's not gonna really do anything.
That depends on the paint, Kyle. Have you ever gotten paint in your eyes?
Lead paint.
Probably acrylic. It's not fucking lead. You think he let his kid play with lead paint? Are you retarded?
It's the apocalypse. Who cares?
It's acrylic paint.
Oh, also, I mean, not to get racist here or anything, but I mean, they clearly are able to like stealth around at night easier because they're darker skinned.
Oh my god, I can't believe you went there.
Ah, they're darkies. Good point.
Well, no, seriously though, like you're gonna blend in the night better, just practically speaking.
That's true. My grandfather always told me the tale of the first black person he saw. It was just a raincoat in the middle of night, walking towards him. An empty raincoat. He was so confused.
Wait, is that a real story?
Oh yeah, that was an actual story. It scared the shit out of my granddad.
A ghost?
Fair.
Oh, it's a black man. Oh, they watched the whole Joel Ellie thing go down.
Damn, he dropping them nibbers.
Yeah. Time to use this to your advantage.
And to be fair, Dev, this isn't that racist. I mean, the black father has yet to abandon his child.
Yep.
Where's the mother?
Well, good.
I think they're brothers, though. I think they're
dun.
brothers.
So where's the mom then and dad?
Yeah, Dev, you're digging yourself deeper down the hole.
Look, I was like, fuck.
They were probably like
Look at
Fedra stooges or something. So they were
Fedra
counter-revolutionaries. Yeah.
Damn.
Well, at least the parents had a good reason to run out on them this time then. See, he did put some outside the door, Kyle. You dumbass.
That was you who said that.
No, I didn't.
Wait, that gun's empty.
Oh my god, child.
Yeah, that gun is empty.
That was interesting. They still didn't explain enough, though.
You don't have to worry about what to say.
It was better than nothing, but
don't
yeah,
wanna
I
hurt
would have
you.
liked a lot more than that.
I want to help you. I don't know what the next step is with something like this, but if I lower my gun, we didn't hurt you, so you don't hurt us. Right?
That's right.
Oh, Joel's gonna do it anyway.
Fucking tone, man.
That's just the way he sounds. He has an asshole voice. Joe, tell him he's okay.
Everything is great.
Dude.
Fuck. Listen.
Oh, Joel didn't just kill them.
Did he do that in the game?
Where'd you get these?
No, but
How old is he?
He's 8.
Cool.
You have to ask him. You forgot your brother's age. Whoops.
he was
He's
14 in the
communicating
game.
for him.
He was 14 before. There was like an Ellie quasi-romance slightly.
To get a view of the city and plan a way out. And when the sun's up, I'll show you one.
Because we like traveling
Kill a
during
city.
the broad daylight, you see.
Fedra.
It's more challenging that way.
You always heard Casey.
It does feel like not a good idea.
Salvages. Yeah, you heard right.
Oh, here we go. There's some backstory finally.
Raped and tortured and murdered people for 20 years. Hey, you know what happens when you do that to people? The moment
They become
get a chance,
communists.
They do it right back to you. That's how I followed you here. I know the city, and that's how I'm gonna help you get out.
Also, that city looks very functional.
Wow.
You know, they clearly like have. They were in a real skylight or whatever, looking down on the real city that was not apocalyptic,
This whole area
and they just
belongs
played
to
it
us.
off.
She's in charge?
No,
Leader of the
they still
resistance.
edited it to make it look up.
You can see the way we're bounded by highways. They
Maybe
got
that's just the
people
way
posted all
Kansas
around
City
the
is.
inside perimeter. We get. You notice anything strange about this city? I mean, other than
Besides
the
the
strange
communist
shit you've already
rebels?
seen.
No infected?
Oh, there's infected, just not on the surface. Fedra drove them underground 15 years ago and never let them come back up. It's the only good thing those fascist motherfuckers ever. They're
What
saying
the fuck?
they're going to help us escape. Right?
All right.
You wouldn't lie to a child, would you?
Okay, the more they do this, the more I'm on Dev's side. It's fucking annoying seeing these retards walking around in broad daylight.
Yeah, I do this at night.
We need to get out of sight. I think it's this way.
Then again, I suppose it's better than House of Dragons, where they shot scenes in broad daylight and then dimmed them in editing to be dark.
That's pretty bad, yeah.
Would you like to watch a television show? Yes? Well, fuck you.
It's actually an audiobook. So, okay.
Get your gun out.
I thought I told you put that in your rucksack.
It was never paid off.
Plan is good.
The plan is good. We've been down here 2 seconds. We don't know anything.
Dad's kind of a pessimist.
I'm not my dad. Just point your light forward. And be ready to run.
Yeah, also, if there's clickers, like, don't make any noise, dude. Fuck. I mean, he knows what they are, so he knows that they operate on sound. Like, shut the fuck up.
To be fair, they're walking down a lengthy concrete corridor. If there was a clicker down there, he'd hear them from hundreds of meters.
Yeah. You're waddling towards them already.
Yep. Because of the way the sound reverberates.
Whoa.
Somebody used up a lot of crayons.
Don't open the door, kid. This is new.
I heard about places like this. People went underground after outbreak day, built settlements.
What happened to them?
Maybe they didn't follow the rules and they all got infected.
Vaults.
War never changes.
Fuck yeah, man.
Now keep it down, we're not out yet.
Oh, come on. Can we just rest here for a while? There's like actually shit to do here.
Wouldn't be so bad to wait the light out a bit. Safer in shadows when we pop back out on the other side.
Oh, now you noticed.
You fucking...
It's like, well, I guess we can wait till night. This time.
You know, I wasn't exactly telling you the truth before.
Dun dun dun.
About me not killing someone. There was a man, a great man. You know, he's never afraid, never selfish, and he's always forgiving. Have you ever met someone like that? Kind of man you'd follow anywhere. I mean, I wanted to. I would have. Yeah, but Sam, he got sick. Leukemia. Yeah. Anyway, there was one drug that worked, and whoa, big shock. There wasn't much left of it, and it belonged to Fedra. And if I wanted some, I was gonna take something big. So I gave them something big. That one great man. The leader of the resistance movement in Kansas City. And Kathleen's brother. Yeah.
Was that in the game?
Think they should take it easy on me?
I don't think so.
Or am I the bad guy?
Can't remember.
I'm trying to justify the communist revolution a bit
The
more.
answer's easy.
Yeah, I think in the game, they were just going after them for leaving.
The last time I saw him alive, in jail, he told me to forgive.
But being a woman, I was genetically
What did
incapable.
he get for that? Where is the justice in that? What is the point of that?
I think it went over her
Brother
head.
was a great man. We all loved him. But he didn't change anything.
Oh my god, she's Benito Mussolini. She was the one who finally brought the revolution.
We're with you.
This is Sargon's capital punishment arc right here. Why should we forgive them? Kill them all.
Good.
This is how you do a night scene. You illuminate it fully, and then you just have some darkness in the background. I can see things. I feel like it can't be quite this easy.
More people?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't in the game either. So there's going to be something, I'm sure.
No,
But
he'll change his mind. Trust me. This is how it goes. He's like, no, Ellie, never, ever, ever happening. And then I'm like, I'm gonna ask you a million more times. And he's like, what?
He's like you.
I've been quiet.
Where's that coming from? Shut up.
Oh, recognize the house? This is the sniper house. Okay, so there's like an infamously hard level in the game, Arch,
Get the fuck out of here! Oh shit!
where basically you have to go up a straight long street with like a very accurate sniper killing you the entire way. There's a lot of stealthing and a lot of trying over and over and over again.
Luckily, this guy isn't a particularly good sniper.
If you don't move, he's not gonna hit you. I'm gonna go around, try to get in the house through the back, and then I'll take him out.
But if you go out there, he's gonna kill you.
It's dark and he has shit aim. Nobody's gonna kill me.
Then he's gonna kill us.
Correct. Yeah, no,
Kib.
if this guy could aim, this wouldn't be this much of a problem.
Yeah. Kibbs, Lilith, you recognize it?
Yep. Man, that poor guy.
Like, he's practically blind at this point. He's just
He's like,
pulling the trigger, hoping it'll scare them off. Please don't come over here.
These are warning shots. I just don't want to hurt you. These are warning shots.
Was the mission at night? When this...
No, it was during the day.
Yeah, it was during the day. So.
Yeah.
Maybe your sniper's better in the game because it was daytime.
And this is where you unlock the sniper rifle.
Ah.
Oh,
He was
no.
supposed to be a Vasily Zaitsev, except worse.
Why do you think you're in front? Clear them.
Go, 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 go!
Jesus. Joel's also a
Just
terrible
spam
shot.
I think the rifle's just been poorly maintained or something, because this is awful.
The scope is
Yep,
fucked.
it just jammed.
That's just a shit rifle.
There you go.
That's an awful lot of brown shirts.
Whoa.
He's just a fucking kid!
Well, kids die, Henry. They die all the time. You think the whole world revolves around him? That he's worth everything? Well, this is what happens when you fuck with fate.
You ready to take him?
He's actually a fairly compelling villain.
Yes.
I don't know about that. The thing is, she sounds like she could be, but all of this is based on nothing but, oh, there used to be a guy and he was totally chill, and so now she's Hitler.
Yeah, they had to show that, I think.
He was the. I think what they're doing
This is
is that he was
Stalin,
supposed to
actually.
be like the good guy, but he was also not a radical. But she's the radical, and she's horrible, but she also was able to introduce change.
Yeah, she was Mussolini.
It was bad change. Change isn't good.
But this thing, like, that needed way more cooking, because right now, it's so cliché. They're trying so hard to make her the complex villain, but the only reason I have to sympathize for this chick is that she totally had a brother who was a totally good guy, or so I've been told. And she's totally doing this for the right reasons, or so I've been told. Because Fedra were bad, or so I've been told.
But we're also
not doing it
shown
for the right reasons.
why she's bad, though.
Yeah, she's bad.
Hold on, something's going. Oh, that's gonna be the
zombies.
Noise.
Here comes the zombie cavalry. Da, 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 da.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's time to fucking run. Just no, don't huddle down, run. Guys, what the fuck?
No, don't save them, kill them.
You want Joel to kill the children?
No, I want him to kill the bad people with the guns that are a far larger threat to the children of the zombies.
Shot himself.
God, it's a super zombie. Oh my Jesus.
Oh, it's that thing.
Yeah.
Those things are fucking nasty.
Oh, I didn't think they were gonna have bloaters in this because they're so ridiculous.
They're bullshit and bullet spongy.
Well, this one does appear to be bullet spongy.
Yep. They're gonna get their comeuppance.
Yep.
Run. Find cover. Don't look back. Run!
See, God, I feel like these villains are so undercooked.
Yep.
Like, they killed Santa Claus, and that's all I know about him now.
Yep.
It's a little kid zombie. That's pretty fucked up.
It's a kid clicker.
Just shoot it.
She's out of ammo.
She can reroll or load. Did she not have more than one fucking magazine?
Now, if the show was brave, they'd kill the child zombie.
Luckily, Joel became a much better sniper.
Yeah.
I mean, the area's illuminated at least.
Well, he was shooting against a giant truck with huge headlights. I mean, it was pretty illuminated already.
You never shot a son of headlights in here. Yeah, it's heavy.
She's underneath the headlights.
Put a little march.
Carl does not understand how light works.
All right.
I think they lost.
Yeah, I think it's over
You know what I'm
for Kansas City. That's it. The city's gone.
They deserve that. That's what they get for being communist.
True, but man, I wish that was more of a proper downfall.
Yeah, that needed like another whole episode to cook, I think.
Not of a whole, but at least like 10-20 minutes.
You think they'll be okay?
Yeah, I think. It's easier. when
Oh
it's
yeah,
done
they've seen
well.
plenty of death and destruction in their lives. They'll be fine.
Just falls asleep.
So there's one thing I noticed. These characters, Henry and Sam, they are black in the original game. And Hollywood's never going to race swap a black character to be white in the adaptation, are they?
Not in the current
of course.
year. Give it a few decades.
It always goes one way with that shit.
Of course.
Martin Luther King is Ryan Reynolds.
Oh no.
Well, time to put them down.
Don't give him false hope.
Yeah, don't.
So, come on, it's nicer than just take him out back and putting 2 fucking barrels in him.
Medicine.
You take a fucking blood transfusion?
Yeah, no kid is going to be able to do that.
I don't think this is going to work. I don't think it's
Well,
going to
of
work,
course not.
Ellie.
Well, at least you tried.
Just squish your blood right in there. That'll work, won't it?
Don't worry, it's the
The
COVID
important
vaccine.
thing is that she's trying.
Just magically heals up. Zoop.
He's like, you're retarded.
Just shoot me.
Oh, it's still stand though.
That kid's dead. He's fucked.
Yep.
Oh, very touching. A character I've known for all of 30, 40 minutes.
Like, she better have tied him to the fucking bed or something. Yeah, he's fucked.
Oh, I remember this part of the game.
It didn't happen in a motel, though. It happened, like, in a high-rise.
The worst part is he can feel that.
It happened
Lucy
exactly
did it.
like that in the game, too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I was getting sick of these side characters anyways.
I mean, that is how their story ended.
Yep.
Yeah.
Different location, but same way.
Oh, God, no. Spicy joke. Too spicy joke. Keep it down.
No, say it. Say it. Say it. Do it.
Oh,
Do
there
it.
is.
Arch. Arch, do it.
Every time there's black characters, Arch has to make racist jokes.
Do it, Arch.
I do, because it's funny.
I know
Arch,
you don't like
it's on my
Bradley,
channel.
but
It's
come
okay.
on.
Go ahead.
Jeez.
That's
If
the
Arch
first
is
time
trying
in a
to-
while. I
Oh.
actually caught myself and was like, no, that's a bit too much.
No, Arch, you have to.
If I tell
It's
this
okay.
one, I will truly be cancelled.
Joel's been humanized again. My God. Ellie is reawakening that human inside of him.
Could at least taken his jacket. Looked like a warm jacket.
There we go.
Alright, so right off the bat, I am souring a bit to the Bill and Frank romance now because that story felt more important and larger and undercooked.
Yep.
Especially also to us, like, every fucking person in this universe has a horrible ending. Everyone they come over has a sad story. Every one of them gets fucking nuked. Except for Bill and Frank, who lives a perfect happy days drinking wine as their mechanical generator lasts for 20 years.
Yeah. So,
Well,
you-
you have to remember Bill was a prepper, so he was ready.
that only takes you so far, though.
The boogaloo.
Absolutely, but the thing is, like, a mechanical generator is going to run you 5-10 years if you've got a good one. That fucking thing, and that was a massive industrial aggregate too.
Yep.
It ran without a hitch for 20 years.
So,
I mean, he probably traded with Joel.
and fixed it up.
Yeah, and fixed shit up during the years.
Joel did mention, like, trading for machine parts.
It can be assumed that
You know,
maintenance was a part of that because you don't need to explain everything in a show. Nobody
Yeah.
fucking cares about the
But-
little
No,
minutia.
it's not that it's explaining anything. It's that you have two characters who live a perfectly happy life. Everything is abundance. The fuel is still running. They don't just have food. They have fresh lamb chops with wine.
And strawberries.
Yeah, and strawberries. To be fair, they grew those, so that's less ridiculous.
So here's the
And
thing.
meanwhile, everyone else is living in squalor and dirt, and they're filthy, and they get to live for about 10 minutes per episode.
Yep. So Arch, here's the situation. Okay, The Last of Us is well, it's a travel story, right? So they can't stick around in one town for too long to really see the rise and fall of like a big political faction, because they spend the entire game on the road. And so you have to like get the backstory through logs and stuff. It doesn't translate over to TV. However, every single person that Joel and Ellie come across meet a horrific death in the game. That's why, Frank kills himself and Bill is bitter and alone.
Except for Bill.
But
Bill goes off.
Well, Bill meets a pretty fucking horrific end too, and that his life companion fucking hangs himself.
Every person that you meet while going through the game, The Last of Us, they all meet like a terrible end of some type. It's always a terrible end, and that's kind of the point. Is like Joel. I mean, here I'll spoil a little bit more for you, Arch, if you don't mind. Joel's actions as you go through the game become increasingly violent and erratic in the service of keeping Ellie alive, to the point that like every single wanderer they come across just like meets a terrible fate. That's the point of the show, is like how far Joel is willing to go for this girl. Mm-hmm. And so you can make a story out of that, fair enough. And you are kind of correct in that whole thing, if they're going to do that story, they kind of ruined it by giving the gay couple a happy ending.
I wouldn't go so far as to say ruined. It just it feels more unfitting after seeing this. Like it fits worse, because if they have an entire episode to dedicate to that, then this was a larger and more important set of events.
Well, they had 2 episodes for this one, and so far I don't think they've ever really dedicated more than 1 episode on any sort of given topic, because like
that's true. Yeah, this needed more.
Because episode 1 is the establishment thing, and the episode 2 was the start of the journey, and also Tess's death.
Mm-hmm.
So like, then episode 3 was about Bill and Frank, and episode 4 and 5 are with this new group. So they've actually had 2 episodes dedicated to this particular group. And I think for what they showed, and for the pacing and overall taking in like the overall broader pacing, I think they did fine with what they got. I think like, since everything else only had 1 episode and this one had 2, I feel like doing 3 on this one would have stretched this beyond just like a stopgap and made it into an entire arc. And this was sort of like a mini arc. And I think for what it is, it's fine. But like, if you were more used to, say, like The Walking Dead, the
whole
pacing
seasons,
from that, they would. If this were Walking Dead, they would dedicate an entire season on this, because Walking Dead numerously did that. Like, when they would encounter like a new group of people that will try to kill a main group, like they'll usually have like an interesting or like a overarching villain as the leader, and they'll have like several episodes dedicated towards like learning the backstory and what came of the group that they are now in opposition to the main group. And I feel like if you're used to that, then you could take a look at this and feel like, oh, well, they didn't spend enough time on it. And yeah, if it would be nice to spend more time with learning about that stuff, but I don't think it would fit this pacing of this show that they're going with, and the theme of just moving from one direction to another, because it's all about like transporting Ellie throughout.
Well, that's kind of the point, because all of the other episodes have been about Joel and Ellie, and then you have 1 episode which has nothing to do with them, which is a complete sidetrack, which is Bill and Frank, and then they don't do that for this group, this is a more important story element in their journey, which means the Bill and Frank episode feels way more out of place. It feels like it was put in there, and it doesn't fit in with the rest of the show. If they had done more on this Group 2, I would have been like, okay, yeah, they're clearly going for more of a grand scenery surrounding them rather than just the traveler's story. Instead, you have the traveler's story that stops for one episode and then resumes after that again. Because I absolutely understand that none of the characters get to live, because as you never said, it's the traveler's story, and so annoying side characters need to be shooed out of the way one way or another.
Well, I think I know what you're saying. It's something like you can have a story where you're going from place to place rapidly, and you don't get everything, and the villains of the day kind of have to be handled in that episode or soon after. Or you can have a story where like every time Joel bumps into a new group, we get like an entire flashback buildup of what they went through. So in that type of story, each episode or like maybe each arc of the show, it becomes like Joel's journey becomes like a frame story with all these other stories happening inside of the frame. You could do that, but you can't do both of them. You can't have one episode focus exclusively on Bill and Frank and then not give the next group just as much focus, which they didn't. And I think that's what we're getting at.
Yes, that's my point.
So I decided to look this up real quick just to get some numbers behind this. So I looked up The Last of Us Season 1 critical reception by episode on Rotten Tomatoes. So all the episodes are still considered good, by the way. But episode 1 has critical reception 100%. It is like 97% for episode 2, 98% for episode 3, 100% for episode 4, and 90% for episode 5. So people still overwhelmingly loved this, but it dropped down 10 percentage points, episode 5 compared to the other 4. And I think that's because that final villain at the end there, the woman, just didn't have enough time to like really get established. And like, there was only a couple of establishing scenes with her. There was the scene where she's talking to the doctor, and then there's the scene where she's in her childhood bedroom. And those are the only real character-focused scenes on her to make her a compelling villain for the audience, and it just didn't work. There wasn't enough time.
The one thing we can definitely see here is the translation from video game media, interactive media, to TV show. And this is where the video game's able to do it better, because better use of pacing, better use of exploration, and visual storytelling through exploration. The show has no such luxuries to do these things. You can't overhear dialogue as they sneak through, because they can only do like maybe a sneak thing for like one section of a show, and it wouldn't be very good at that. So you can see that the story doesn't translate very well, and especially when they're trying to somewhat remain faithful to it. So that's going to become a bigger issue, I think, as we get further and further into the show.
I don't know if it's that, because it's not that this story can't translate. It's that they didn't give it enough time to translate.
Well,
it was
certain sections will not translate without them completely reframing and reworking things. They've already reworked quite a bit, because of the whole like seeing like the bad guy perspective thing. That's completely new. Like, you don't really see them a lot because, you know, you're following this perspective
of course,
Joel
but
in the video game.
That's them simulating the audio logs, essentially. That's the bad guy perspective. That's the audio logs. That's the bad guy perspective.
Absurd. But the audio logs leave a little bit more vague, especially when they actually talk about the bad guys and all the things they're doing. And it's not more so, like, I don't know. It's hard to describe, because if you play the
game, it was just you escaping with Harry and Sam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no particular, like...
I think that woman was mostly like a
background character, I think. Yeah.
Written for the movie. I mean, the show, right?
Well, I think she was big. Yeah, she was like only mentioned in logs, I think, actually, in the game. They expanded it out a bit, but they didn't do anything with the expansion. Like you stealth and fight your way through the city in the game, and then you make it to like Sniper's Alley, and then you get out of Sniper's Alley and you just move on. I don't even think there was like a big rush of infected at that point. I think that was
another episode on this group.
They completely reworked that whole section. That was not faithful to the game at all.
Oh, speaking of that, okay. What did you think of the first appearance of the bloater?
Stupid video game monster.
Yeah, kind of, eh?
It's not as cool, because what it should have been is the bloater should be fighting like Joel and Ellie, and it could be like a really tense moment. Like, I don't know. The bloater has always been scarier in the game because when it attacked you, you're like, "Fuck, not that piece of shit again." Like he eats bullets like nobody's business, and he's really just kind of cancerous to deal with because he murders you pretty easily if you get caught in a corner. It's not as intimidating when he's attacking the bad guys.
Yeah. So, Arch, I'm sure you've intuited this already, but the bloater is the stage after the clicker and the stage before you become a big mushroom. And you can run around and like spread spores as a bloater. You can just spit spores everywhere. And he's really annoying to deal with in the game because he's very bullet spongy. However, he has like an insta-kill attack but just by infecting you with a bunch of spores if you get close. They were always, even in the game, they were always more annoying than scary. Clickers were always scarier because you had to stealth them. You can't stealth a bloater. They're always like a boss fight, you know?
Yeah, the bloater was the quote-unquote boss of the universe. Like, Dead Space had the invincible necromorph, this had the bloaters. Like, they're there to try to drive up tension, but if you get caught on a section like that, that can, the tilt factor starts to rise quite
Well, that's the thing. Any monster that is described as annoying or frustrating is not a scary monster. It's a video game mechanic that you recognize as a video game mechanic.
Yep.
It's all about raising tension and how you execute that.
And what?
It's the example of the fucking alien from Aliens video game. The moment you realize it's a fucking video game mechanic, it ceases being scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alien Isolation is really bad at that. Where you just you can tell how the AI director works and this isn't scary. It just runs circles around me.
So compare the introduction of the bloater in this episode, which is it comes out of the hole in the ground, and there's like a soundtrack that makes it sound like it's going to be a big fight, and then he starts like beating up people and he's like ripping people's heads off, and I mean it's cool and gory, but it's not scary. Now compare that to the introduction of the clicker back in episode 2, where they're all like extremely quiet for multiple minutes, and they're just like, shut the fuck up, this is extremely scary, and they're tiptoeing around, and then when it finally shows up, they're like, it was significantly, the clicker's introduction was significantly better.
Yep, they did better job with tension. What they should have done with the bloaters, the bloater shouldn't be there to save them, like from the bad guys. That's stupid. The bloater should be this thing they bump into, but it can't quite get them because of its large bloated body. But you were quickly figuring out very, just through this audio that of it moving around, that it's something big, it's something threatening, and you start to generate tension. This didn't generate tension because it sort of came out of the ground. It was like, and
There's also the problem that what it did was it had no payoff effect. Okay, so it kills Santa Claus, and I don't know who the fuck Santa Claus is. He's just a dude, and he's with the woman who is vastly oversold as some kind of villain, and then she's killed by a zombie thing. I'm like, there's no payoff there. It's just randos getting killed, and the show shows it as if you're supposed to give a fuck. It's like, oh no, Santa Claus.
I don't think you're supposed to be sad about it.
Well, no, you're supposed to care. You're supposed to be like, yeah, he killed Santa Claus. He was a bad person.
I don't necessarily think so. I think they were trying to portray the group as a bit mixed, bit extreme, but I don't think I also think Santa Claus looked a bit remorseful or questions if he was doing the right thing at the points.
I don't know. They tried to because he was like, no, you woman, you gave us the thing. We kill all these people, and we're behind you. I don't think he had any remorse. If anything, I think he was annoyed that this wasn't the plan of the great leader.
I think he was felt a bit conflicted because he felt like the woman was a bit extreme at points.
Did he?
I don't agree with you, and the reason I don't is because there was that one section where he asks, "We're not giving them a trial, are we?" And she's like, "No," and he just goes, "Mm-hmm." He seemed to be on board. He seemed to be on board.
Fair enough. But I don't know. They could have given them more characterization.
I think my main problem
is they were also mostly way more in the background in the game too. So the show only had they had to pretty much write entirely new characters, I guess.
And that's kind of the thing too, because I wouldn't be anywhere near as annoyed by this if they didn't try to sell them so hard. If they were just background character and it was alluded to that they had done something horrible, okay, fine, it's a traveler's story again. But they tried to sell them. They tried to be oh, there's a complex story here.
necessarily think they tried to sell them. I think they more that just like gave them more filling as opposed to just like, oh, these are bandits and they steal and rape and shit.
I mean, they dedicated several scenes to like building up the reason why she did this, to try and make her sympathetic yet still evil.
Yeah, it didn't work. They needed either more time with them or less, I think.
Yes, either more or less.
One of the two.
Fair enough. I thought that was fine for the most part. They could have used a bit more, but.
And to be fair, Lilith, they did say on Rotten Tomatoes that this scored a 90% audience approval rating, which is less than the 100 average, but still, I mean, 90 is pretty high. So it's like this is still a liked episode. It's still a liked show. People are still really enjoying this. It seems. It's just that this, I think even the people who like this show recognize that this is probably the worst episode of the 5 so far. I don't know if this show deserves even a 90. Like, it's a good show, but it's not like 100% good.
No.
Jesus.
No,
it's the modern day. No. Everything now is either a train wreck or a masterpiece. It's. I miss the good old days where if a show got a 6, you were like, above average. I might check that out.
I don't remember those days. I remember seeing a 6 and be like, trash.
That's because you're a fetus. I remember the good old days of the PC gaming magazines where a 6 meant above average.
Arch-believing games journos caught now live. Can you believe that? Guilt.
Like, I remember fucking the only like super high scores that they used to give out there was like for the really ones. Like Diablo got like a 9, Sacrifice got like a 10. You know?
The big companies that had the big paychecks, yeah.
Shiny the big paycheck.
Well, I don't know if any of you three remember this, but back in 2006, all right? Back in 2006, on 4chan's video game board, when it was either IGN or GameSpot, gave Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess an 8.8 out of 10. That was considered like a fucking high crime against gaming to give a Zelda title less than a 9.
Yep.
And like 8.8 became a meme for years. Yep. You know, it's probably worth it. But honestly, Twilight Princess is probably about 8.8, to be honest.
We need to be returning to, because like the numerical score system had a purpose at a point, but it has long since lost that purpose because now everything is either a 1 or a 10.
Yeah,
and they're just quibbling around degrees.
Like 5 is meant to be average in the numerical score system, but no one uses it that way, right? Like, if you, especially if you're like talking about, you know, let's say like someone's attractiveness, right? If you say someone's a 4 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10, that's like saying they're a 0. And if you say someone is like an 8 out of 10, that's like saying they're a 10. So it does seem like the whole numbers thing has kind of fallen apart in recent years. Have we said all we want to say about The Last of Us episodes 4 and 5?
Yeah.
Yep,
I think so too. Next week we should be able to do things normally again because unless Archie, you have some more IRL things happening.
Nope, I'm good next week.
Very good. So no more Super Bowl, no more. I think everything should be fine unless like some drastic event happens, which I mean probably will happen, to be honest, knowing our luck. But hopefully we'll all be here for next week.
That's good.
The Redskins won, by the way.
Wait, they're still called the Redskins?
They're called the Chiefs now, which is not much better.
Damn. It's not as based.